Welcome back again. My name's Josh.
A beard needs trim.
And today, I'm going to do something kind of different. I'm going to make fresh pasta, but it might be in two parts. So we're going to have part one, which will be this video, which will be how to make the pasta, because then if we use it in future, we can refer back to this on how to make pasta. And then part two will pretty much be a ravioli recipe, which you'll see. For the recipe for the pasta, it's pretty basic. All we need is 1 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. I'm actually using 00 flour, just because it's a bit finer and easier to work with, but all-purpose does work as well. You're also going to need 5 eggs. 2 of those are going to need to be whole eggs, 2 are just going to need to be the egg yolks. You're going to need a pinch of salt and about a tablespoon of oil. Right, so first off, get your eggs set up in a bowl. So we want 2 whole eggs. And then you also want 3 egg yolks. Easy. With your whites, you can save them and make something with that. If not, chuck them out. Right, so once you've got your 5 eggs in here, or 2 eggs, 3 egg yolks, what you want to do is get your flour. Right. Now this bit, you kind of got to make sure your counter is clean, because we're going to dump it out and do it on there. So you pretty much just want to pour your flour onto the counter. Easy. And with this, what you want to do is just kind of move it out, create like a well in the middle, but you want a barrier so that the eggs don't, because we're going to pour the eggs in the middle here. We don't want the eggs to run out, so with your well, you want it to kind of have high barriers, because I mean we've got 5 eggs in there. So once you've got your little barrier of flour set up, you just want to grab your eggs, pour them into that center there, trying not to let any fall out. Beautiful. Now to that, you also want to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. To that, just want to add about maybe a pinch of salt. So now with a fork, what you want to do is just beat the eggs, and as like you make scrambled eggs or something like that, as you're doing that, you want to incorporate the flour into the eggs. The egg should automatically kind of pull some flour in, but you know, it doesn't hurt to help it. Alright, so once it starts to become a little bit less liquidy and a bit more kind of solid, then you can ditch the fork and start using your hands. Make sure they're clean, of course. So you just want to keep incorporating the flour into the egg. Alright, so once everything's kind of brought together into like a dough ball, you probably want to knead it for about maybe 5 minutes. Just kind of make sure it's not too wet and it's nice and elasticy. If it is too wet, just add a bit more flour. If it's too dry, just add maybe, depending on how dry it is, you can add another egg with maybe a little bit of water. If it's just a little bit dry, maybe just add a little bit of water. So once you're finished kneading the dough, it should resemble kind of like maybe the same feeling as like Play-Doh. What you want to do is wrap this in cling foil and then let it sit for about an hour or 2, and yeah. Alright, so it's been about an hour now. We've got our dough, so we can take that out of the fridge. What you want to do is whip out your pasta maker. If you don't have one, you can use a rolling pin. It's just going to be a lot harder to kind of roll it out. So yeah. But if you do have a pasta roller, you want to secure it to your bench so it doesn't move around. You might need to open a little door like I did. Now with your dough, you probably want to cut it into easy to use pieces, so maybe into 4ths. Just that way it's easier to roll. We'll start off with 1 here. And just wrap up the rest so it doesn't dry out, just put it to the side. So what you want to do is get your flour. Now you want to put a bit of this onto your pasta maker so that it doesn't stick to pastas. Kind of roll that through a bit, just so it coats the inside of that. And then obviously flour the surface where the pasta will be coming out. So just sprinkle a bit of flour onto your pasta dough. Get that covered. Then with the wider setting, you just want to start on that and just roll it through the machine. Now you want to fold it over itself a couple of times, just so that it does come out as a better sheet. As we're rolling this, you want to gradually move it up the steps in on the pasta machine. Like I said, if you don't have a pasta machine, you can use a rolling pin. It will just take a bit more work and you'll have to roll it out pretty thin. If the pasta becomes too long while you are rolling it, you can cut it in half, that way it's easier to put through the machine. But what you want to do is probably get to about number 6 on your pasta roller, which is relatively thin but not too thin. It's not all the way to the end. So this is where you'll get to with your sheets of pasta. So like I said, I stop at about number 6 on the pasta roller, just because I do like it a little bit thicker. You can obviously go thinner if you want to. And then from this, there's so many different things you can make. Like you can make raviolis, which will be in the video coming after this one. But then you can also make spaghetti, tortellini, lasagna, cannelloni, anything like that. So they're very versatile. If you do want to save them, all you need to do is sprinkle a bit of flour on them and just put them in the fridge. They'll stay for about 2 days. And then with your remaining dough, you can actually put that in the freezer for after 4 weeks. As long as you get it out the day before, you can reuse it again. So as you can see, pasta sheets are very easy to make. Yours will probably turn out looking a bit nicer than mine. Mine are a bit off center, but it doesn't matter because I'll be cutting them down for ravioli anyway, or chuck them in spaghetti. So you might think, why the hell would I bother making fresh pasta? And if you're thinking that, you've obviously never eaten fresh pasta before, because it is so much better than packet pasta. Moving on, we'll jump onto the raviolis, which will be in the next video. So there should be a link for that after this one. And yeah, cheers. Fucking cats fucking with the tripod. Fuck off.